Wouldn't you love to know what the senator was doing the moment she brainstormed this one? WXIN News reports that the Indiana Senate has passed a bill that would legalize ninja throwing stars. Throwing stars are currently illegal in Indiana, but the bill, introduced by State Senator Linda Rogers, would lift that ban for recreational use. Star throwing is allowed in other states, where it's sometimes found at axe-throwing businesses. The bill came from a constituent who owns a putt-putt golf course called Ninja Golf, explained Rogers. She added, "Nearly everyone that I spoke with said, 'Hey, look, if we can throw axes, we can certainly throw throwing stars.' Some say additional safety measures need to be considered, since throwing a star is different from throwing an axe. For example, throwing star blades can get bent and hooked over, increasing someone's odds of getting cut," said Richard Deshane, co-owner of Ragnarok Axe Throwing LLC in Indianapolis. The bill does include some restrictions. Star throwing would only be permitted at certain businesses, and children ages 12 to 17 could only throw stars with a parent's written permission. There are also requirements for having fencing installed between throwing lanes. Oh, well, that's reassuring.
This one was destined for failure right off the jump. WCHS TV News reports that a man is facing multiple charges after being accused of robbing an Ohio grocery store at gunpoint while wearing underwear on his head in a pretty weak attempt to disguise himself. He also left the scene in a stolen vehicle. 30-year-old Devonta Edward Mitchell of Paducah, Kentucky, was charged with theft, aggravated robbery, kidnapping, and theft of a motor vehicle. Deputies responded to a grocery store in Stout, Ohio, in response to an armed robbery. They obtained a description of the vehicle the suspect was operating and learned it had recently been stolen from an auto parts store in Portsmouth, Ohio. Police reportedly observed the vehicle in motion, made a traffic stop, and detained the suspect. Investigators said they recovered cash and a firearm from the vehicle in addition to a pair of underwear the suspect used as a mask. Mitchell was booked on a $207,500 bond. I get that this was probably a spur-of-the-moment decision, but if underwear was the best he could do, he would have been better off walking away.
I guess just calling a tow truck or AAA was out of the question? The Detroit News reports that a man was arrested for allegedly calling police to report he was shot at on a freeway to get help faster after his car ran out of gas, officials say. Michigan State Police said troopers were called to a location for a report of a freeway shooting. The caller told dispatchers that a white male in a purple car fired 150 shots into his vehicle with an AK-47. Troopers arrived and found the 30-year-old man and his female passenger with their vehicle at the side of the freeway. They investigated and found no one had been injured, and their vehicle had not been struck by gunfire. Further investigation revealed their car ran out of fuel, and the female passenger called 911 twice, requesting a faster response for help. She and the driver grew impatient, police said, and he called 911 to report the shooting. It gets better. Police also learned the driver has a suspended license and was impaired. So troopers arrested the man for operating a vehicle while intoxicated. His blood alcohol level was twice the state's legal limit. Officials said the man also has outstanding arrest warrants. Another classic case of a decision sounding great in theory, but only in theory.
Just imagine how many engagements or Valentine's Day dinners were ruined over this one. CBC News reports that the #1 restaurant listed on TripAdvisor for the city of Montreal, Quebec, turned out to be fake. The supposed top-rated establishment, called Le Nouveau Duluth, is a clear example of how easy it is to create buzz with no substance behind it, and what challenges real restaurants face getting noticed in the TripAdvisor algorithm. The listing had just 4 photos, the last of which was of comedian Charles Deschamps, whose name was linked to the restaurant's listed phone number. Deschamps confirmed he set up the listing as a joke. His reason? He finds sites like TripAdvisor to be problematic. One person destroyed a friend's spot on social media, said Deschamps. She asked 22 people to leave a one-star review just because a wine glass was spilled on a dress. The comedian says platforms like TripAdvisor don't work well, and he intends to keep pranking them, as much to show them up as to entertain his audience. Keep that in mind before you try to book the place in an effort to impress your Tinder date.
If you ever needed a sign that you weren't meant to own a boat, this is probably it. Yahoo News Australia reports that a fisherman made an expensive mistake at the gas pump, accidentally mistaking a rod holder for the boat's fuel tank. In a Snapchat video shared to a popular fishing page, several people are seen hosing down the ground around the boat as it's parked at a 7-Eleven pump in a suburb of Sydney, Australia. "Guys, don't make this mistake ever," the man behind the camera says, showing an eye-watering $536.76 worth of fuel, or 231 liters, on the pump. The video quickly racked up more than 230,000 views, with many viewers stunned by the pricey blunder. While some called the fisher's error stupid, others admitted they've also made the same mistake in the past. What? One person confessed, "Not even gonna lie, I did that same thing once." A second person admitted, "I did that once. Bloody stainless rod holder right next to my stainless fuel cap." Fire and rescue were called to help pump out the fuel from inside the boat, in this case, and sounds like all is well, aside from a little embarrassment and a lighter wallet.
If you want to see all our videos about real news stories that are funny, stupid, or weird, click the subscribe button below. I mean, hey, my cat's gotta eat.